Hello, my name is Jimmy and this is the 2023 Toyota GR Corolla, the first GR subdivision that's actually full-on Toyota, because you have the Supra, which is of course a BMW, and you have the 86, which is, well, a shared Subaru. This is Toyota through and through, but this isn't just a Corolla, because it kind of started as a Yaris. The powertrain, that's lifted from the GR Yaris, which is a homologation special from the WRC car. So this, is this just as special? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to show you everything you need to know, starting with the looks. This particular car here is the base core Canadian model, which means I don't get the vented hood that the circuit model gets, but it still looks pretty good up front. It looks like a Corolla should, except of course you got the widened front bumper and a lot of grille. On the side here, we got these 18-inch blacked out NKs, and they kind of remind me of RS05RRs, which is probably my favorite wheel from the brand, so I love that design. There is a fender vent here as well, and that is functional. The side skirt just says GR4 on the bottom, and it is extended out a little bit. It actually really emphasized the look. You do get proximity door locks. On the front door, sadly, not on the rear. Around the back is where you really see the widened rear fenders. That's like just big hips up here. Because it's the core model, I just get the standard spoiler on top. No extensions, nothing crazy there. I mean, even the XSE model of the regular Corolla has a more pronounced spoiler than this. Standard LED tail lamps, and of course your triple exhaust on the bottom. I mean, overall, the GR Corolla looks good. It looks, different enough than the standard Corolla to kind of, make it seem like it's something a little bit more special, but it doesn't stand out too much like the previous generation Civic Type R, where it's just a lot of fake vents. On here, it's actually quite civilized, and especially in this black, people just think it's a regular Corolla and they kind of leave you alone. If we open up the trunk here, it's an okay amount of space. At 18 cubic feet, it's not going to win any awards for the largest trunk here. If I move my bag away, you can see under the floor there's a giant foam divider. And here you can put some more, stuff. Underneath that, it's just the battery. I'm sure if you get like a lithium battery, move it to the side, you can take this foam, kind of contraption out of here and get more trunk space. However, of course, you can fold the rear seat 60-40 to increase that if you like. Definitely not the biggest, but I don't think it's too bad. Let's move on to the rear seats. All right, the back seats. I'm 5'11" and I got enough headroom actually above me. Knee room is okay. It's kind of like just brushing up the front seat, and my feet is basically stuck underneath the driver's seat here. In terms of amenities, there's really not much back here. It's kind of a drab, dark interior. There's really not much going on. I don't have vents. I don't have like anything special. I don't even have pockets behind the front seats here. I mean, there's cup holders and there are USB charge points, at least one single USB-C charge point and a 12-volt socket. That's really it. That's all you really get back here. But it's not about the experience back here. However, if you're going to be using this for family purposes, I am a child passenger safety technician, and on the driver's side here, this is a collect lane infant seat. It did fit in the cabin without moving the driver's seat too far forward. As you can see, getting the seat into the cabin is fine. However, the doors don't open a full 90 degrees to make it easier. In front of the infant seat, once again, I'm 5'11", I do fit in here. It's really not too much of an issue. On the passenger side, this is the Collect 5th, a rear-facing seat. As it is bulkier, I did have to move that passenger seat up. I mean, getting my child in and out, it wasn't the easiest thanks to the sloping roofline, but it definitely still worked. In terms of myself fitting in front on the passenger seat, it's quite tight. Definitely not the most comfortable place to be. In terms of lower anchors, there's two sets. Pretty normal. You got a set on the driver's side and a set on the passenger side. And it's just between the slit here, so it might be a little bit difficult to find at first, but it should be fine once it's installed. And there's 3 upper anchors behind the seat itself. But let's head up to the front. The front seats. These seats are actually really supportive. They are heated, but they're not cooled or massaging or anything like that. But it's a GR Corolla, not some sort of luxury car. They have really good bolsters to really hold you into the seat. But because of the seat material, it just doesn't look all that special. That's kind of the one downfall with the Core Edition. The Circuit Edition do get better materials. And you also don't get lumbar support at all. There's no adjustment in here. So depending on how your back is, if it's really bad like mine, you may not be super comfortable on longer journeys. In front of me, I do have a really nice GR steering wheel. It has plenty of buttons on it, and the stitching on the inside is actually quite nice. The only thing is it's actually quite thin. For some people, that might not be an issue, but for some, well, especially like if you're coming out of a BMW product, this feels like, well, almost nothing at all. Behind that, you do get a full digital cluster. It's an amazing cluster. It shows you everything that you really need. I love the big tack in the center, and the displays on the sides are customizable. And if you change the drive mode to sport, well, the tack changes from this rotary tack to this tack that's on the top. It's kind of cool, and you get to see the higher revs in a more, well, expanded view, so that it's easier for you to, well, drive at higher RPMs for like track use and whatnot. It's actually a good look. No heads-up display, but I guess that's fine with a pretty good cluster like this. I don't care about that too much. As for the infotainment system, it is the latest from Toyota, so it does have like navigation, but it is a subscription service, unfortunately. I mean, it works well, but I'm not able to tell in here. I used it in a Lexus product before. I liked it, but in here, services is not rendered, so I can't see that. I've just been using CarPlay, and because it doesn't have a Qi wireless charger, I've just been plugging my phone in with the USB cable. It does have wireless CarPlay, but kind of want to charge my phone, and I don't really have an option for that. You got your single zone climate control that works like a single zone climate control should. No real problems there. In the center is where you got your drive modes, and you got your GR4 control, so you can split your torque front and rear. Overall, the interior is fine. I mean, the upgrades that are in here compared to the regular Corolla, like the seats and the steering wheel, those are definitely nice, well, options. But you are missing some things that like the top XSE trim of the Corolla gets. Like the Corolla XSE has like soft door cards. In here, this is just, well, Fisher-Price plastic. I kind of wish I got better materials in here. It's really just the door cards that bug me, because like in front of me, this is still soft touch, so I guess that's okay. But these door cards, just for 45 grand to start, really wish that this was a little bit better. I'm not sure if the Circuit Edition or that Marizo Edition is anything different, but in here, definitely a little disappointed for that. But who cares? It's not about that. It's about the powertrain. So let's talk a little bit about that. It's a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder. It makes 300 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Mated to that is a 6-speed manual, and is fed through an all-wheel drive system, the GR4. And what does all of that mean? Well, a 0 to 60 time on under 5 seconds means it's pretty brisk. And if you drive it hard, you can definitely get there. However, for most, you're going to be driving on city streets like, well, what I am right now, in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And when you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic, there are two negatives you're going to notice. First notice is that exhaust note. Right now, at 2,000 RPM. That was a little bit under. But around 2,000 RPM, it's super boomy in here. And it's very evident for the people in the rear. So if you're going to be carrying passengers in the back, they're not going to be the happiest people when you're cruising around 2,000. If you're above or below that, it's definitely better. And the other thing you're going to notice is, well, the suspension. It's a lot stiffer than you might think. I mean, it's not uncomfortable. I've had like really low vehicles before with relatively hard coilovers, and I mean, it's comparable to that. It's not like the worst. It really isn't. But for a completely stock vehicle, it's just a little bit bumpier than I personally like. If it had adaptive suspension, it definitely would be a lot better, just giving you that variety when you're kind of just driving it day to day, so you can kind of soften things up whenever, well, you don't want to break your back. But those are the only two negatives, really, that I have found with this vehicle. Because the rest of it, it actually is great. Throttle modulation is good, the brakes are great, and, well, the clutch, it's super easy to engage. And with the IMT, the rev match downshift, downshifting in everyday traffic, it's super smooth as well. You can drive this, well, very, very smoothly. And for a lot of cars like this, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. So overall, in day-to-day traffic, not bad if you can live with the suspension and the exhaust note. And then when you're on the other side, when you want to drive it, well, a little harder, that's when the fun out of this vehicle really, really shines. Because once you depress that throttle a little bit more, you get all the right noises from the engine, and it's actually very engaging. You want to rev it out. That's what I found, because it's not kind of trashy near the top of that rev range. You want to rev it out all the way to its red line, and it doesn't really lose power on the top. You just want to floor it. You just want to floor it at every single opportunity. I mean, if you're driving like that, you're not going to get the best fuel economy, but it's still a lot better than the IS 500 that I got last week. Honestly, sorry, I just got caught myself in the noise and just the overall feel of this vehicle. I really, really love it. Like, driving it aggressively is when it shines, because the suspension being, well, the stiffer way that it is, when you're driving a little bit quicker on smoother roads, well, you don't really feel that. And the exhaust note, it goes from a drone to something that you actually want to hear. It still lacks a little bit of that character that I want in a 3-cylinder, but at least it's not just a boomy, droning cabin. That's probably the best part about it. Honestly, it's a great vehicle. The GR Corolla is definitely one of the best hot hatches you can buy. And at 46,000 Canadian dollars, it's actually one of the cheaper ones as well. And if you really want like a few more like options on top, you can get that circuit edition. You get, well, different bits and pieces here and there, the carbon roof, JBL sound system, better seats. That's going to cost you a little bit more. Is it worth it? I mean, it is a special edition, so maybe later on down the line, but this in Canada, you already get the limited slips on the front and rear. And that's really what you're looking for. In the US, I believe that's part of the performance package. And with that, you're going to be putting all of this power down. And that's the best thing. That's what you want. That's what you need. Because like even flooring it in second gear in a hard turn, it feels great. I've had the torque split 30-70 and it just turns like there's no drama. I mean, you may say, oh, I want drama. If you want drama, pull that e-brake and you can have drama. But this just, the amount of traction that this has, it just hooks. It really does. In any case, I'm going to enjoy this some more. I'm going to drive it around a little bit more and just, well, have some fun. In any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Take care.